Hello. So is this thing live? Yes. Okay, perfect. Let's sculpt Conquest. But before we do that, I just want to make a quick announcement that I've just launched the applications. So the applications for the Sculpting Fastlane are now open. And what is the Sculpting Fastlane, you may ask? So let me just quickly show you. Sculpting Fastlane is a program where you will be working with me one-on-one, and I will drag you out of tutorial hell and put you in the place where you'll be able to sculpt your favorite character within 90 days confidently. And after that, you're no longer in tutorial hell. And yep, so what you get is you get 3 months of direct mentorship with me. You get 2 calls per week where we will just sit one-on-one. You will get feedback, anything that you need. It's completely non-medical training. I would overwhelm you with bullshit terms you don't need. You're an artist, bro. You're not a doctor. Okay, you can request for feedback videos. You have WhatsApp support with me for 24/7 because I do not have any notifications on my phone apart from WhatsApp, and you get access to that. And yeah, so the cool thing is you will be able to make your favorite characters within 90 days, and there's a guarantee. I am super confident that if you're not able to sculpt whatever you want confidently in 90 days, I will work with you for free one-on-one until you do. That is how sure I am that this will work. And if you just want to apply, there's a link right here pinned in the chat. So just click, book a call. And even if you do not decide to join, you will still get some clarity. We will still go through the roadmap. And yeah, you can talk to yours truly. It's going to be awesome. So if you think that this is going to be beneficial, apply. And if you know that this is going to be beneficial, apply as well. Okay, the link is right there. And yeah, here you can see some testimonials. You can see how Henry was able to learn sculpting in 13 days. He was overwhelmed for 5 years. LeBron in 20 days. His appreciation post, he was about to give up sculpting, but then he came back. You can see Qasim got really good. He got into freelancing, and the clients were very pleased with his sculpts as well. So yeah, go ahead, join right now. There's only 10 slots, and the applications will only be open until the end of May. After that, the doors close, and no longer will there be applications for the Sculpting Fastlane. So if you're interested, go check out right now. And without any further ado, let's sculpt Conquest. Yo, Zyro Minecraft, how are you, my friend? King AIDS, maybe do the red mighty morph. I haven't seen Power Rangers, bro, but I'll still check it out. If it's a cool sculpt, we can definitely do it. Hello, Shizuma, how are you? By the way, guys, let me tell you, I haven't seen Invincible yet. I mean, I did see Invincible, but I haven't seen the latest season that is out yet. And the reason for that is I don't like to wait, bro. I hate cliffhangers. And Invincible was something that I thought is already finished. I thought I can binge this and complete this, but it wasn't, apparently. And since then, I stopped watching it. Because I don't like to wait, bro. Like, why wait years for something? And the whole time thinking, oh, what's going to happen next? Because when I watch something, I'm super indulged. I'm always super indulged when I'm watching anything. And yeah, I want to know what happens next. I want the story to be complete. I don't like waiting for cliffhangers. But here we are with Sculpting Conquest because I loved Conquest when he arrived. Also, I learned the actor. I love the actor who how would I say? Who dubbed his voice? Who voice overed for Conquest? Yeah, I love the voice actor. And just in case you guys don't know who that is, it's Negan from The Walking Dead. I think his name is Dean Morgan, Jeffrey Dean. I don't know what his real name is. For me, he's Negan. Yeah, there are some characters that you don't know them by name. You just know them by the character that they played. So Negan voiced Conquest. Negan is one of my favorite television characters of all time. I loved Negan more than I loved Rick. Watching The Walking Dead. Negan! What about you guys? Have you seen Invincible yet? If you have, please don't spoil anything. I hate spoilers. And I don't want it to be spoiled for anyone else. A funny thing happened So I was streaming one day and someone came and started talking about The Last of Us. And I'm super passionate about The Last of Us. The Last of Us has been my favorite game of all time, ever. It's a shame I don't play video games anymore. But yeah, when I used to play, Last of Us was my favorite game. And then I got so excited, we started talking about The Last of Us, and accidentally spoiled it for him. I thought he had completed the game. And then I realized, bro, I stream and I shouldn't throw around spoilers lightly. And I don't like people who spoil stuff. Like, why would you spoil something for someone, bro? Why? The whole point of these things is that someone enjoys it fully. And I think I cannot enjoy something fully if it gets spoiled. If it gets spoiled, what's the point? I know what's going to happen. I won't have the anticipation. There's going to be zero build up. I just hate spoilers. But surprisingly, some people don't mind at all. My sister, for example, she doesn't mind. She's like, just tell me what happens. I don't care. You should. Why don't you? How can you truly appreciate something if you already know what's going to happen? Yeah, this part right here, what I'm doing right now, this is the most important step, the blocking out. You have to be happy with the block out and don't go in and just start making the eyes, the nose, the mouth, bro. It's not going to work. Focus here. Make this look good. Make this look like a head. Only once this looks like a head, then you move forward to adding more details. This is the biggest issue I see. People just jump forward into details way early in the process, and then they wonder, why is the sculpt not working? Why it's so hard to control the mesh? Why is my sculpt lumpy? It's because you just go too high poly too early, my friend. You should avoid this at all costs. So let's go ahead and make the eyes. Like this character, his eyes are way apart. The generic proportion is one eye width, but this is, I think he has two eyes in between. That's interesting. Yeah, this is the thing about generic proportions. You use generic proportions to build your understanding. And once you build that understanding, you use that knowledge and that context to make characters that you want. So when you're working with references, look, sculpt. Look at the reference, sculpt. Observe, make an observation, implement it on your sculpt. Use the generic proportions as a guideline, but they're never going to be something final. They're just guidelines. But it is definitely what a beginner should focus on. 100%. Always. Generic proportions. Just please don't be one of those guys who like, hey bro, but how do I sculpt from imagination, bro? What's the point, bro? Why do you want to sculpt from imagination? Every pro that you see, bro, they all sculpt with references. What makes you so unique? What's so special about sculpting without a reference? Why is that a flex? It's not a flex. And people who flaunt it to you that, hey bro, you know, I just sculpted this without a reference, bro. Just unfollow those people. They're Jerry's. They're Jerry's. You don't want to associate yourself with Jerry's. Always use references. Everyone used references. Da Vinci used references. He painted the Mona Lisa. And Mona Lisa was a living person who was sitting in front of him. And that is what he painted. Why didn't he thought, oh bro, let me imagine what Mona Lisa would look like. Let me make it from imagination. It does not happen. It's a lie. It's a myth. Always use references. Look, sculpt. Look, sculpt. Always. Love these videos, man. Yep. Thank you, my friend. And this is where you take the sweet time. I just noticed, bro. I made a Jerry move. I sculpted the nose without looking at the reference. If I had looked at the reference, I would have known that Ishaq, the nose is not this long, bro. But it's good that I'm low poly. And since I'm low poly, I can adjust it easily. Okay? This is why you stay low poly. This is why you look and then you sculpt. I got carried away. I was talking. But I have to talk because I'm streaming. If I don't talk, like, well, what's the point, bro? Personally, I just find it a bit difficult to talk and stream. I mean, not to talk and stream, but to continuously talk on a stream. Because what do I talk about? Opalescence. Hello, my friend. By the way, guys, if anyone wants to learn how to sculpt dinos, go check out Opalescence. He's your dino guy. He's the Blender dino guy. I'm gonna be right back. Gotta eat something. Sure thing, my friend. Enjoy your lunch. Bring it along if you want to. It's okay, bro. I won't ask for you. I won't ask for a bite because I cannot. You're on the other side of the world. Hey, Zach, how do I unlock the Madcap Plus after finishing the head course challenge? It's still locked. Crank head. Oh, is this Yusuf? Let me check. Just a sec. Is this Yusuf? Bro, I mean, I cannot differentiate between the YouTube names and the community names. Because I think I'd read something. Please let me know what was your name inside the challenge so I can unlock it for you. Boom, 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 boom. And yeah, by the way, guys, if you want this matcap as well, this is the matcap that I use. So the default Blender matcap is this. And it's boring. It's vomit. I don't like this, bro. And here's my matcap. The one that I made custom. You can see it just pops out the details a lot more. It makes it a better experience sculpting. Let me show you. So if I split this screen and if I change this matcap, look at how lame this is, bro. Ass. I don't like this. This is nice. This is my custom Blender matcap. And if you want to unlock this, it's really simple. Just go ahead, join the 1 month challenge, complete the challenge, and I will give it to you as a gift. Yeah, it's good to watch these so I can learn more. It's better to talk for sure. 100%, bro. But in order for me to talk, I need an audience. I need someone talking, having a conversation. That is when I can talk. Some streams are a bit more silent than the other ones, and then I just don't know what to talk about. Let's check the proportion for the mouth. So you can see about halfway is the bottom. About here should be the crease. So let's take here. Yes, it's me. Okay, let me quickly do that. Just a sec. So Yusuf completed the 1 month challenge. And yeah, here's your result without any reference. All right. The whole point of this exercise, by the way, is just so that you can see how far you've come. So let's look at your first sculpt. This is your level 0. This is where you started. This is where you are now. So the whole point of this exercise is just to see how far you've come within 30 days. Okay, and this is not something that I recommend that you continue to do. So you've done it once, sculpted without a reference, good, but don't do this further ahead. It won't end well for you, bro. It's a trap. Never sculpt without a reference. Membership second, course, give access to MatCap Plus. There you go. Enjoy. And I'm sure you're going to have a much better experience sculpting in Dunda. I cannot go back to the default MatCap now. It sucks. This is nice. Hi, Ishaq, thank you so much. Please also create a video about how to sculpt teenager boy or girl genetic head proportion. But there is a video on the channel about how to make a female, a generic female. Just go, yeah, it's one of the most popular videos on the channel. So if you go here, and if you go to videos, if you go to popular, here it is, how to sculpt female face in full detail without the anatomy overlay. It's there on the channel. I have a request. Power Rangers Mighty Morphin Red. No one ever makes those videos, bro. I'll have to check it out. No promises. If it's an interesting character, I'll definitely do it. I'm talking about 15-year-old girl or boy which is more than 30 plus years old, guys, but I'm talking about 15-year-old character. Yeah, I'm not sure, bro. I mean, what would be the generic proportions for them? But yeah, I can't promise tutorials for that. The best thing is to just open up some references for 14 to 15-year-old children. The generic proportions, they're still going to apply. The only difference is might be a bit of the proportions. That is something that you can compare with simple observation. Their ears will be smaller than the genetic proportions because ears is something that keeps on growing. The face proportions might be a bit different. But the main difference in the proportions for teenagers is always going to be in the body. It's always going to be in the body. Just a sec. Yeah, the main difference in the teenagers and adults, or even children, is proportions in the body. Their head proportion count for the whole body. That is different. For example, the male, I know that the first head is here, the second lines up with the dimple. It's gonna be different for them. And an easy way to do that is here. Just imagine this. This is the reference for the young kid. You just take your two fingers like this, and then you put it on your monitor. And this is what I'm doing. So you notice this is where the first head is. This is where the second head is. This is where the third head would be. And just like this, you make a rough body count check. Head count, not body count. Yeah, good, thanks. I'm gonna get back to rigging. Long process. Can't wait to watch this when it's fully done. Yeah, sure thing, man. Bye. Good luck with the rigging. Are you from Pakistan? Yes, I am from Pakistan. Though most people think that I'm Indian for some reason. Although there's not much difference in Pakistani and Indian people. We're basically the same people, just got separated during the separation. But before this, everything was India. It was India. The whole continent was India. That is also why our language is very similar, with plus minus a few words here and there, but it's basically the same language. Hello, hey, what's up, Tom? You've been making some really good progress inside the community, my friend. It's a real pleasure watching you share your journey. Make the ears. Ears are very annoying, man. I don't like making the ears. At first, they used to be very complicated. I didn't know how to make ears. That is why I did not like them. But the reason I don't like them now is because it's too easy. and it's just annoying. I don't like sculpting the ears. Ears are, they have little to no effect on the personality of a character. Nothing. Unless it's an elf, or unless they have like some ear injury or a cut ear. Other than that, ears do not matter as much as the rest of the features. Simply put, if I showed you a bunch of ears, 10 random ears, and one of those ears was your mother's ear, you wouldn't be able to tell me that, hey, Ishaq, this is my mother's ear. That's how little of an impact ears have. No one can recognize their mother's ear, bro. I can't do it. Unless your mother is an elf. Then, of course, she has elf ears. But elves don't exist, do they? And yeah, we'll come back to this later. I'm very glad to hear that from you. Yeah, definitely, man. I won't be surprised if you share your result a few days later, bro. You're a champion in making. I'd be surprised if you're not. At the pace that you're going. Just very nice. Yeah, just keep up the great work, man. Love seeing you being active inside. And to be honest, this is really a big indication of whether someone's going to get result. People who show up every day, share the results, get feedback, they are the ones who succeed. They are the ones who succeed the quickest. Because they are showing up, working every day, regardless whether they feel like it or they don't. And I think this is one of the biggest quality any man can adopt. It's just the ability to work no matter how you feel, regardless of what you feel like. Because no one cares about your emotions, bro. No one cares what you feel like. No one cares. Seriously, no one does. Then why do you give it so much importance? And how do you feel? The hypocrisy here is that the only time you consider how am I feeling, or am I in the mood, or am I motivated or not, is when it's time to work on your own stuff. So when it's time for you to open up Blender, practice sculpting, which is something that you are passionate about, you think, oh bro, I don't feel motivated. I'm not in the mood to sculpt now. Maybe I should rest. But then imagine your boss calls you and he's like, hey bro, show up at the office. And you're like, oh yes boss, I'll be there. And then you go there regardless of your mood. If you're a student, I know when I was a student, there were some days that I did not want to go to school. I did not want to go to university. I did not want to study biology, history, or all that shit. But still I used to go there, regardless of how I felt. The only time that I seeked comfort was when it was time to sculpt, when it was time to work on something that I was passionate about. And I learned this the hard way, bro. I had a 9 to 5 office job, and it wasn't a 9 to 5. Honestly, it was a 7 to 8 p.m. So I used to work more than 10 hours every day for my boss. But then when it was the weekend, and when it was time to work on my own stuff, I was like, nah, man, I just worked so hard throughout the week. I deserve a break, bro. But if my boss called me on a Saturday, I would be there. And then it just hit me. It just hit me. Like, why am I working so hard for this dude? Why am I working to fulfill someone else's dreams? What about my dreams? What about my goals? What about my ambitions? Who's going to do that for me? No one is going to do that for you. The only person who wakes up with the responsibility of making your life better is you. That is what I realized. That is when I stopped being a little bitch. And what I started doing was, I used to get up for the office at 7 a.m. because it was an hour-long commute. And I just thought to myself, like, if I can get up for this random dude at 7 a.m. in the morning, I can get up at 5 a.m. for myself. If I can work this hard for this dude, I should work harder for myself. And it became a matter of self-respect. Seriously, it was just a matter of self-respect. Like, why am I putting someone else's life, someone else's goal before mine? If I can work so hard for this dude, I should work harder for myself. And that is when I started learning Blender. I used to get up at 5 a.m. every morning, regardless of how I felt. And I used to, and I started learning Blender first thing in the morning when there was zero distractions, when there was no one who was going to call me or whatever. I knew that at 5 a.m., the world doesn't need you. No one needs you at 5 a.m. So that is when you get up and start working on what is most important to you. You put yourself before everyone else. You owe that to yourself. And when I started to do that, bro, after a month, I got really good in Blender. I got really good. And to be honest, at that time, I wasn't learning how to sculpt. What I was learning was Blender overall and product rendering. How do you render in Blender, whatever. And then here's what happened. Here's a cool thing that happened. So after a month, I got good and I decided that I don't want to be in this shithole anymore. I don't want to work for someone else anymore. And I took a risk. I took a risk by quitting my job. So I'm going to quit. And the only option that I have left is that I have to do something for myself. That I have to figure out how to freelance. I have to figure out how to do Upwork and everything. Upwork was a good option back then. And that is what I started to do. So I quit my job. Every day I would work on my portfolio. I started building a portfolio and I would apply for jobs. Nothing happened for about a month. But then after 1 month, the first gig that I got, it paid me 10 times more for the same thing that I was doing in that shitty job. But the good thing was I had freedom of time. I had freedom of location. I didn't have to go to the office. And it was on my schedule now. The same thing that I was doing in that office. I got the same job. But now I was doing for 10x the money. On my previous job, I was being paid about $200 a month, which is ridiculous now when I think of it. And then this job, the other one that I got, started paying me $2,000 a month. And that is, yeah, I just have myself to thank for it. Of course, there's the blessing of God, but I'll be honest, bro. People say, oh, wow, Ishaq, you got lucky. Come on, bro. Do you think it was luck? Do you think waking up at 5 a.m. every day to work on my skill was luck? If I hadn't had that realization, if I hadn't worked for myself, that opportunity would have never arrived. Let me tell you what luck is. So my definition of luck is preparation meeting opportunity. If you don't prepare, you're never going to be lucky. Nothing is going to come and lay on your lap. Nothing. So the harder you work, the more your luck multiplies. That is my definition of luck. It's preparation meeting opportunity. The more you prepare, and when the opportunity arrives, of course you're lucky because you had been preparing for it. It's way better to be prepared and never have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. And this is a simple litmus test, bro. If in your life you are working hard, you're doing something for someone else, but you're not doing anything for yourself, you're making excuses. You're being a little bitch. You're lying to yourself. You're lying when you say, oh, bro, I don't have enough time. Bro, how do you have time to scroll on social media? How do you have time to play video games? How do you have time to procrastinate? If you say, bro, I can't work hard, bro, I don't know what to work on. What did you know to work on? What skill were you born with when you were born? What skill did you have when you were born? The only skill you had was crying, which you're using till this date, bro. No one is a professional as soon as they are born. Your favorite artist sucked. I sucked. Everyone sucks. The only way to learn is to suck for a while. You just have to get used to the suck. And it's okay to suck. But it's not okay to suck forever. Just a second. So yeah, you can either be a victim of your own situation, of your environments, or you can be the architect. And what you want to be is a matter of deciding. Let's make a comparison from the side view. Here's a trick. So whatever is the furthest point on the head, so you can see this point, you just draw a straight line down on the reference, and then you do the same thing on your sculpt. And then you make comparisons. For example, you can see that majority of the nose is behind this line, but in my case, it is ahead. So I now know that I need to push the nose back. You can see that the upper lip is almost on the line. In my case, it's ahead, which tells me that I need to push all of this area a bit behind. You can see the chin is behind this line. This dip is behind this line, but in my case, it's very close. So this is just a pretty neat trick for you to know how to check the side view whenever you're sculpting something. Or instead of moving all of this behind, we can just move this ahead because it's all relative. I feel like I'm fixating too much on the head right now, and we should take a break from the head. So let's sculpt the body in the meanwhile, and then we can come back to the head again. What? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely the neck can be much wider. Hello, everyone. Currently catching up on Invincible, so this muscle model is right up my alley. But you don't have to watch Invincible to sculpt this. I haven't watched the new season yet, and I don't think I will because Invincible still has a long way to go before it's complete, and I just find it very difficult to be patient with things that I'm watching. By the way, this stage you can see I'm still super low poly. How much is this? It's about 4,500 vertices. The objective right now is not to get something super detailed, super muscular, but just to get a rough block out, an overall proportion, a good silhouette for the body. Once this is nice, of course, we can go in and add in all those details in the muscles and everything. But for now, don't. Because the more you can delay this, the easier it's going to be sculpt the next steps when you do decide to sculpt them. So always stay as low poly as you can. Squeeze out as much detail as you can before moving on to the next steps. Kid you not, this is the most common mistake that I see. People going too high poly too early. Blocker actually, when you have the most influence of model, the rest is detailing. Yes, I agree. Definitely. Blockout is where you set the foundations for everything. It's like a cake. So a cake has the sponge and everything. If that tastes good, yes, the icing makes sense. You can add as much icing as you want. You can have the most beautiful icing on that cake and it will be nice. But if the base is shit and this whatever, I don't know, the cake is hard as fuck and it does not taste nice. No matter if you have the best icing in the world, if you add the best ornaments, if you add a cherries on top, there's no point. The cherry on top is not going to make the cake nice. The cherry on top only works when the cake is nice. Also, a lot of people just mention that they have this sculpt looks lumpy, and going too high poly too early, that is the reason why your sculpts end up lumpy. Because when something is high poly, it's also more difficult to smooth. It's also more difficult to manipulate, and hence it just ends up lumpy. Oops, what? Yeah, open OBS. The 1 hour in. Why am I so slow today? Hello, Ruben. Yeah. Hey, Ruben, what's up? Oh wow, he looks like he has gorilla hands. Sculpt, pivot, mask border. Live sculpting a Nomad Sculpt app. No, this is Blender. Yeah, let's give Conquest some ass. By the way, an analogy for male ass is some people like to associate it with a butterfly shape. So you can see this almost forms like a butterfly. But the way that I like to remember it is that imagine someone is pinching the ass like this. So there are always two hands, two fingers, one pinching this way, the other pinching this way. And this is only present in the male ass. Female ass, it's much more rounded, much more pleasant to watch, of course. But male ass, yeah, it's being pinched by imaginary fingers all the time. Just a quick analogy to help you remember it easily. I'm in one sculpting review in Nomad. Oh, I haven't used Nomad. I tried it once on my tablet, but yeah, I didn't like how slow it was. Not in terms of performance, but how slow the overall experience was. Clicking on a tool every time and then clicking on another thing and then clicking. Unless you have a keyboard to work with, I cannot bear working in Nomad. It's just too slow in terms of performance. Imaginary joint fingers. Yes, imaginary joint fingers. Always pinching the male ass at all times. Can we block out the whole body in the beginning and then layer by layer add details? Yeah, that is how you should do. So you always block out the body first. And you see, right now I haven't combined anything either. It's super low poly. So if I turn on statistics, statistics? This is 500, this is 5,000, this is 4,000. The leg is right now 908. So it doesn't matter. Let me see if I can find that file so I can show you. This is from the anatomy course. So let me show you. Yeah, nope. Where would it be? Work. Here. My practice project. Sea salt. I need you sea salt. What? What does that mean? Oh yeah, here. So you can see here. This is how you should go about sculpting the body. So you start here, low poly, you block out the torso, and then of course you can add details to the torso before going further. Or you can just keep everything low poly here. So like the body here, the leg here. Just imagine. Should I make a version here? Yeah, let's try. Why not? Let's do this. Okay, so oh boy, this is going to lag so much. Damn, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, I think we should not do this right now. Okay, wait. Let's try. P separated by loose parts. Let's see. Loose part. Yes. Okay, so it didn't crash. Thank God. Let's go out of edit mode. Yeah, you could definitely do something like this where everything is low poly. Yep, something like this. And then proceed to add the details, definitely. Or you can just make one section and then add details there, make another section, add details there. So it's completely optional. There's no right or wrong ever with sculpting. But yeah, definitely, even if you want to go about this way, oh my god, bro, like, quit edit mode already. Let's wait for this to load. Yep, here. Yeah, so there's a pattern. Even if you want to do sculpt the torso, this is the most important part. The block out, the overall silhouette. And then when you add the details, they will make sense. If you add details on a bad base, it's not going to make sense. You see the legs, how low poly they are. And then the details. They make sense because the block out was nice. Yeah, this is how you should go about it. Oh, sneak peek into an art because. Whoa! Shit! Oh, bro, the Conquest sculpt. Yeah, I think this Conquest window crashed. Oh my god. Okay. We still have some. I think it's in the same place. So we don't have. Oh, okay. I thought we lost a lot of work. Good thing I pressed Control S after every shot intervals. By the way, you should do this. Keep these fingers on Control S all the time. Spam Control S whenever you make a big change. Just make it a habit. It's better than to regret later. Sneak peek into anatomy course. No, bro, it's not a sneak peek. The anatomy course is live inside the Da Vinci School. And the only way to get it is that you apply for the Da Vinci School. And how do you apply? You apply it via the link. It's in the chat. It's going to be in the description. You can see the kind of results that we get. So day 6, Henry sculpted this torso. I watched in over 5 years. He was overwhelmed by courses and tutorials, but finally he got results. Yeah, this works. This works, man. Let's look at the final results. Boom. So this is a good place to be. If you want sculpting, if you want the best modules without the anatomy overwhelmed, you don't want to be overwhelmed by bullshit terms. What's the neck muscle called? You don't need that information, bro. You're an artist. You're not a doctor. We also have the female anatomy course, which is my favorite course for 2 big reasons. Then, oh my god, bro. Like, why does this cursor has to become a hand? And why does it look like it's groping here? Okay, this is inappropriate. Let's go back. Let's go back to sculpting. Let's go back to groping Conquest specs. No more sneak peeks. I get carried away. That'll be awkward if we lost Conquest because I asked a question. Yeah. That will be okay, man. You asked a genuine question. It's a good question. It's a win-win. We got to learn something. And even if it was the worst case scenario, we would just sculpt him again. Because why not? Questions is how you learn. So if you don't know something, the best way to learn that is to ask questions. So many people, they just don't ask questions. You should ask questions. And I'll be honest, I was one of those people. I was always super shy to ask questions. But then I just realized that if I want to learn something, if I want to get good at something, I have to be a fool. I have to be okay with being stupid. Because I'm a fool, bro. I don't know. I'm trying to learn. Of course, no one knows. And there's nothing bad in asking a question. You should all ask questions. People should ask more questions. And now, when I'm trying to learn something, I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to be a fool. Because the only way that I won't be a fool is if I ask some questions. I can recall so many times when I was in school, high school, where I had a question, a burning question, but I never asked it. And then someone in the class asked the same question. I was so relieved. Like, wow, thank you for asking this question. Thank you. I did not have to be the person to ask this. But then why not, bro? This doesn't look right. I'm not happy with the overall way that he's looking right now. Yeah, the head definitely feels smaller now. Let me also check the width. And the width looks fine. I'm not happy with where this is going, man. Let's see what can be done about that. So I just inflated both of the arms by combining them. He looks like Michelin Man. What's a Michelin Man? Is this a Michelin Man? No, man, he's not that bad. In your experience, could you tell me professional way to learn Blender? What do you mean by professional way to learn Blender? I'm thinking we might have to do this in two parts. Hello, Ishaq. Hello, gang. I recognize some names in the chat here. Selkarian. Oh, it's a bit confusing with the YouTube names and the community names because people have all sorts of different usernames. They have a different one on YouTube, a different one on Discord, and then a different one on school. And I just not know who is who. So I do recognize the regulars, but most of the times it's someone from the, I would say, yeah. So sometimes what happens is I know people inside the 1 month challenge or inside the Da Vinci school, and then they join the stream and then they comment, and I'm interacting with them as they are someone else, as someone I don't know yet. And then they tell me something which makes it click. Oh, you're that guy. It can be confusing. Yes, it's Mehdi. Oh, nice. What a pleasant surprise, man. Yeah, now you see, I wouldn't have known this unless you would have told me. Happy to see you here, man. How are you doing now? How's your health? It's really nice seeing you being active inside the community and all. And I'm happy to see you here, my friend. Hanging in there, trying to stay positive. Got another surgery coming up soon. But what are you doing to do? But what are you going to do? This will be the fourth one now. But enough about me. How are you? Also, Conquest, good luck, man. Yeah, wish you luck for your surgery, man. May this one be the permanent solution to your problem. Lots of prayers for you, my friend. Yeah, thank you for the conquest. I don't know why this one took me a bit longer than I expected. Maybe it's also because I was focusing. The last few days I was making portraits. Just the head, just the busts. which are definitely this is taking longer than usual. I might do this in two parts. So we might stop streaming soon and complete this in the next one. Just like we did for the Wolverine. So yeah, the Wolverine, the complete Wolverine is here on the channel. Will you do the gauntlet as well? If I do the gauntlet, it's of course it's gonna be a different stream. But if we wrap this up, then probably not here. We'll see, we'll see. Let me show you the portrait that I made. It turned out pretty nice. We made Walter White. Walter, put the dick away, Walter. Oh my god, I just realized I was out of the screen this whole time. Damn, how long has that been? But anyways, here's Walter. This one took me about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to do. But it turned out pretty well. Pretty happy with this one. Say my name. Yeah, let's go back to Conquest now. Let's go back to the task at hand. Yeah, I think it definitely this is going to be in two parts. I think we can go on for another half an hour, see where we end up. The rest we'll do it on a separate stream. Again, very soon. Because I want to take my time with this script. I don't want to rush. I saw it here, nice. Did you see the one I posted? Yes, I did. Also, I like the half view. Though I did notice there were some proportional errors. I don't remember. The eyes were a bit too low or were they a bit too high from the center? That was the main adjustment that I saw there. Is the reference AI generated? Yes, it is AI generated. How can we get her to follow along? Follow along meaning? Do you mean the reference? Oh, you mean how can you get this reference to follow along? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries, man. I'll just post it inside the community. And you can get it from there. I completely misunderstood your question. Okay, but now I get it. I'll post it inside the community. No sweat. By the way, let me also show you the prompt that I used for this reference, which I think is a pretty cool way to generate references for yourself. So if we go here, Gemini, yep. So here's the sculpt. Oh, the reference. And here's the prompt. So for some reason, I don't know why, when I was asking Gemini to make conquest, it was generating me something weird, like a weird character. I don't know if this is the comic design, what this is like. Is this the real design of conquest in the comics or something? Because I know that inside the animated series is not. Inside the animated series is this design. So what I did was I uploaded a picture of conquest that I found from Pinterest. And this is the prompt. Let me share it in the chat. Oh, I have to send it in parts. Just a sec. And 3/4. Weird. Maybe it's some Marvel superhero. Yeah, I don't know why. What happens is Gemini can get freaky when it comes to shows sometimes. Sometimes it would just not generate references for you. If that happens, just click this button, redo button, keep doing this, and eventually it will. Sometimes it just does not know what a character looks like. I'm not sure why that is. And that is true even for the Pro model. So I'm not sure why that happens. But if that happens, just pick a design, pick a sketch, something that you can find online, and then Gemini can use it as a guide. So a really, really simple way of making references. I should have done this earlier in the blockout. But it's too late to apologize. It's too late. You know what? I will not do it this way. No, I will not be a Jerry. I'll make another sphere and I will use that. Ishaq, hello man. Hey, how are you? I'm doing fine. How are you? Please, can you show the shortcuts? Oh, yes, definitely. Let's enable screencast. I always forget to do this, so thank you for the reminder. I had to take so many precautions when I was recording the latest anatomy course because I kept forgetting to turn this on and still do. In the streams, I forget to do it. I forgot to enable statistics. I forget to enable, yep, the shortcuts. My bad. You know, there's no way to make it automatic. I wish there was. That whenever you open Blender, the screencast just enables on its own. If someone knows a way to do that, let me know. I think I can still do it for statistics, but not for the, what do you call it? Yeah, this thing, man, what was it called? Screencast. Yeah, but I don't think there's a way to do it for the screencast. It's so annoying when you know what you want to say. It's on the edge of your tongue, but you just don't know what it was. Why does it look like a rubber flaps? Let's see. So this should be, yeah, that is why. Oh, now it's too small. Have you ever tried Nomad? I tried Nomad on my tablet. I don't know if there's a desktop application for Nomad. If there is, I might give it a try. But I have tried Nomad on the tablet and I could not work with it because without the keyboard shortcuts and everything, it was just too slow to work with. It's much easier to sculpt in Blender. But it was a good software, to be honest. Just that it wasn't. I couldn't make it work really fast on my tablet. Yeah, the legs feel super long now. Let's check. The proportion. This is funny. Yeah, definitely way too long, bro. You know this? Yeah, definitely way too long. The legs should almost be about the same size as the upper body. Yep. I think it's time we pause the stream now and let's pick it up on Sunday, maybe tomorrow. But yeah, I do want to get some rest now. And we will continue working on Conquest again, the rest of him on the other stream. I should definitely title this Conquest Part 1. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. And by the way, the applications for the Sculpting Fastlane are now open. If you want to apply, if you want to be a part of this, then just go here and click here. So yep, I'll see you there. And if you just want to get started for absolutely free, if you want to join the 1 month challenge, you can see the kind of results that we're getting within 16 days, 11 days. So 11 days, 30 days, 12 days. Pretty crazy result inside. 1 month challenge, yeah. Yeah, the cool thing is people, they all start from absolute, most of them, absolute beginners. Tired of learning sculpting in the anatomical way, and they want to learn it without the anatomy. Yep, pretty much it. Okay, goodbye. Take care. Save this. Here's a fist bump. Where's the